Greetings, everyone. My name is Carl Armstrong, and I'm making a video unlike anyone I've ever made before. This video is a living tribute to my mother. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm already crying, and I'm not going to apologize for any tears because yesterday my mother started hospice, and we're dealing with her last few days of life here on earth with us. My mother is a believer. She's been a believer for many, many years. And so, of course, there are mixed emotions. As a believer, I am so joyous and happy for my mother because she gets to go and be with Jesus. She gets to shed her corruptible body, which has been racked with disease and illness for years. She gets to shed that and put on that incorruptible. I'm so glad about that. We know that once we've received Christ into our lives, we're no longer of this world. We're in it, but we're not of it. And my mother understands that. And to be quite honest with you, my mother is relieved. She's happy. She's joyous. She's living her best life in these last few days. There'll be no more medical intervention, no more 911, no more hospital. As a matter of fact, I'm sitting at her dining room table right now in my parents' home. When I pulled up to the house this morning, she was in the car with my sister and my sister-in-law. As a matter of fact, my wife, Tisha, jumped in the car. They're about to go to the store. I kissed her and I said, "Mama, how you feel?" She looked at me. She said, "I feel pretty good for this being my last week here." And that's just my mama. She taught us how to live, and now she's teaching us how to die. This picture I have here is my mama in her well days. And as I look at this picture, I'm reminded of so many things. Those hips are hips that bore me. Those breasts are breasts that fed me. Those feet are feet that carried me. Those arms are arms that carried me. Those hands are hands that plaited my hair and combed my hair out. And I know as bald as my head is right now, it's hard to imagine that I had hair, but I had enough hair for her to plait on Saturday nights, and then to spray that Afro Sheen moisturizer on Sunday mornings and pick it out and style it into a nice afro so she could take my brother and I to church with her. With those hands, my mother taught me how to tie my shoes. With those hands, my mother put lotion on my face and all over my body. With those hands, my mother dressed me. With those hands, my mother also disciplined me. And that discipline helped to make me what I am and who I am. With those eyes, my mother could give a look with those eyes that could peer through one's soul. And with those eyes, she have put those eyes on me. And without saying a word verbally, her eyes have had an entire conversation with me of warning, of rebuke, and even of solace and agreement. This is my mother. Her name is Agnes Marion Copeland, born Agnes Marion Hankerson, June 28th, 1950, in Norfolk County, Virginia, what is now known as Chesapeake. She was born in the South Norfolk borough of what is now Chesapeake, the Money Point community. With those lips and with that tongue, my mother have said things over the years that guide me now. She taught myself, along with all of my siblings, that we had worth. She taught us how to treat people, that we were to treat others like we wanted to be treated. She taught us that no matter what station in life a person came from, that you treated them right, you treated them fairly. She taught us not to be afraid of anybody. She taught us how to speak to authority with respect, but also with respect for ourselves. Never allowing anybody to disrespect us, never allowing anybody to speak over us, never allowing anybody to take anything from us, and never allowing anybody to take advantage of us. Funny story, I tell you the moxie of my mother. I remember being 4 years old, and I had a battle outside. And I remember my nose was bloody. And my mama asked me a question. She said, how in the world can you lose a fight with all of the rocks, bottles, and sticks outside? Pick up something and bust them jokers in the head to the white meat. And she meant that. She said, if you lose a fight, you have to come in here and fight me. We don't lose fights around here. If you can't beat them with your fist, you pick up something and you beat them with it. We don't lose. Nobody can take your lunch money because you don't have a job. That's my lunch money. And you don't let nobody take nothing that belonged to me. That's the kind of moxie that my mother had. She put that in us. And to this day, nobody takes anything from me. Nobody takes advantage of me. Nobody's going to run over me or rule over me because my mother taught me that. When I look at this picture, I see a strong woman. She was strong then. And even in these tender last days, my mother is strong. Just a few days ago, today is Saturday. I think it was on Wednesday evening, or maybe Wednesday. It was Wednesday evening, Thursday. I can't remember one of those days. Mother sat with us and she accepted this is the end. She said, this is what I want for my homegoing service. She had me to open the closet and pick the dress out that she wanted. She had another family member to pick out the pearls that she wanted around her neck. She let my wife know how she wanted her makeup done. She said she wanted to look like she's sleeping. She was wondering if she'll be allowed to have shoes on in the coffin. I mean, orchestrating everything to don't sing any sad songs. I don't want a sad homegoing. I want a celebration. I want all upbeat songs. She told us who she wanted to preach. She said on what day she wanted the funeral. In other words, she's taking control of a situation that many people don't have control over. And that's typical mama. Even to the end, she's being herself. I was concerned last night because I live in Northern Virginia. She lives in Southeastern Virginia. So we're about 2.5 hours apart. And I got a text from my sister saying, Mom was going to go to the pharmacy with me. And I was alarmed. I said, I thought Mama was locked down. What's going on? And my sister called me. She said, Mama ain't locked down. Mama can go to the store. And then I heard my mama say, hello, son. I said, well, Mama, what's going on? She said, well, the hospice nurse said I can do what I want to do, go where I want to go, and eat what I want to eat for as long as I can. I said, so, you sightseeing? She said, son, I'm going to see what I can for as long as I can while I feel up to it. All right, Mama. That's the same thing she's doing this morning, going to the store, seeing what she can see while she can. I'm so godly proud of my mama. She showed me how to live. And now she's showing me how to celebrate life on the way out. I'm so overwhelmed by the example that she has set and that she's setting. And this talk with you about her and this living tribute is even for her to see. I want her to see it before she slips away on the other side. I want her to know how much I love her, how much I honor her. I want the world to know, because Agnes Marion Copeland has meant everything to me. She was my first love, first lady I ever kissed, first lady I ever loved, first lady who I ever thought was beautiful, my mama. I remember years ago when I was young in my marriage, I had 2 young children. Had been out of the army maybe just around a year, and the job had pulled a fast one, and it looked like I was about to lose my job. Had to go get a lawyer and all this craziness. And before I went to tell my wife I wanted to stop by and talk to my mom, I just, I left the surety of the army, and I'm out here trying to navigate this civilian world. It's unfamiliar to me, a young man with a young family. And I'm just grieving and, this soon to be loss of a job. What am I going to do? And my mother allowed me to soak for just a few minutes. Matter of fact, she hugged me. And then just like Agnes, she kind of pushed me off of her. And she said, look at me. She said, boy, you come from good stock and you're going to figure this out. Now get up, get out of here, and go figure out what you got to do, because you got to fix this. You got a wife and 2 young babies who need you to provide and protect. Call me later when you figure it out. And then get up out of here and go do what you got to do. That was mama. That was mama. Hundreds, and I literally mean hundreds, over the years have placed their feet under her dining room table, and she has fed them a meal, many on Sunday evenings after church, and several others all throughout the week. She would never turn anyone down for a meal, a hot bath, or to wash their clothes. She would do that for you. May not be able to spend the night, but you can get a hot meal, you could get a hot bath, and you could wash your clothes. She would give you counsel. If you were going through life's challenges and life's trouble, mama would talk to you, and she would keep your secrets. If you told her, it was with her. And I appreciate that. She didn't allow my brother and I to just run roughshod. She encouraged us. As a matter of fact, she demanded from us that we be real men to our wives, real husbands, and real fathers to our children. She demanded that. And she encouraged us to do what was good and what was right. She has been a cheerleader for us all of our lives. And when we were wrong, mama spoke up. She never cloaked for us when we were wrong. It was never, that's my baby. No. For mama, right has always been right, and wrong has always been wrong. She was a standard bearer. To the point, I believe she's been such a good mother that even though I'm 53 years old, and of course, as a mature man, I can look back and I can see some of the mistakes that mama made, but I don't want to talk about any of them. Because what mama gave us in character and example, it made up for every mistake she ever made. It made up for what she could not give us in money and materials. My mother came from abject poverty, growing up as a poor Black girl in a very racial, poverty-stricken place. She overcame so many odds. And over the last 25, 30 years, probably even more than that, Her body has just been racked with illness after illness, disease after disease, hospitalization after hospitalization. And now, Mama gets to lay it down. No more diseases, no more illnesses, no more hospitals, no more doctors, no more needles, no more ICUs, no more ambulances. She just gets to go be with Jesus. Today, we're going to celebrate her. Her birthday is June 28th. We were planning a celebration there at that time. But we don't know if Mama will be around on June 28th. So just a couple days ago, we decided to celebrate Mama today. So today, in her own home, as many as we could contact and as many as could make it, we're going to celebrate Mama. And we're not going to say goodbye to her. But what we're going to say is, farewell for now, Mama. We'll see you later. We're going to see you on the other side. We're going to usher you to the river. And we're going to wave as you meet those great cloud of witnesses along with our Savior, Jesus Christ. And if I've said it 1,000 times, I'll say it again. I love you, Mama. And I'm so thankful that God gave you to me and gave me to you. You've been a wonderful mama. You've been a wonderful mama. You've been a great example. And I want the world to know that you labored well. And I'm so glad that you've gotten to this point where you're going to get your crown. You worked so hard. You suffered so much. And now God has given us the honor, the distinct honor of sitting with you, enjoying you in these last days. All of these tears are not tears of sadness. They're also mixed with tears of joy. I love you, Mama. I loved you yesterday. I love you today. And I love you tomorrow. Farewell, Mama. I see you on the other side. I love you. I love you. Thank you.